Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this isn't complicated like a lot of things. This is simply adjusting the rules because certain members flee to a state that has serious gerrymandering issues, and they turn this issue into an issue about race, and it's disappointing that they have chosen to take the path of claiming that it's a racist issue. It is not a racist issue. It is not. And this is not rocket science. You show up to do a job. You took an oath. You swore to the Constitution to do your job. You are collecting a paycheck and not showing up to do your job while you flee to one of the most gerrymandered states in the country.
Mr. Speaker.
How disappointing and hypocritic is that?
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Dutton, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
Absolutely, Mr.
The
Dutton.
gentleman yields.
Thank you. If I heard you correctly, you said the maps weren't.
Can you repeat that?
When I thought I heard you say.
Members, please take your conversations outside the rail and give your respect to the members debating at the front and back mic.
Did I hear you correctly say that the maps were not based on race?
I heard, well, not heard, what I said was that those who have fled to another state to work with serious gerrymandering made this issue about race instead of about their constituents.
And you don't think the maps were about race?
I think that 4 of the 5 maps or congressional districts that were supposedly created are majority Hispanic.
What happened to the black population?
I think they still exist and still are able to vote.
No, what did they have? What happened to them under your maps?
I don't know.
You don't know that.
So you're making it about race again?
No, I didn't make it about
Okay.
race. You all made it about race when you put race in the maps.
Unrelated to the resolution, I believe.
You did what?
I believe
didn't
that's
hear
unrelated to the resolution.
you.
Please
I'm
confine
sorry,
your
I
remarks
can't
to the
hear, Mr.
resolution
Speaker.
before the body.
Sorry. Would you say it again? I didn't
Yes, sir.
hear
I
you.
believe it's unrelated to the resolution.
Well, it's related in this way. I don't know. You ever see a movie about slave patrols?
Can you repeat that?
Do you know anything? Have you ever heard of slave patrols?
Slave patrols?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Well, when people run away from a unconstitutional event,
I believe the courts found this was not unconstitutional.
you believe
to
that
change
what?
I believe the courts found it was not unconstitutional to change the maps.
I believe just the opposite. I believe this map will be found unconstitutional. And because they were based on race, because the letter that ignited this whole map drawing was done by a president who said it was based on race.
I don't know that that's correct or not. I can say this. Did you go to Illinois, sir?
Did I go where?
Did you go to Illinois during this?
I've been to Illinois 1,000 times.
Did you go to Illinois to break quorum?
No, well, no, what I did to break quorum was I left here so that these maps, perhaps you would have a thought process that would tell you that these maps were
Yes, sir. I think we're
racially-
getting off topic again with the maps.
I'm sorry?
I think we're getting off topic again with the maps.
Well, you asked me a question. I was simply answering.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have another question or something?
No, sir.
Or can I
You
ask
can
you a
ask questions
question?
from the back
All
mic
right,
if you'd
okay,
like.
good. I can
Yes,
ask
sir.
you a question. Well, the maps were not based on race, according to you, but you can't tell me what happened to the black population in terms of the maps.
I am
that
pretty
you
sure
draw.
they're still there and
Well,
still allowed to
hold
vote.
on. I didn't finish my question. The black population prior to the maps, were they better off or worse off after
Please
the maps?
confine your remarks to the subject matter of the resolution.
I think the reality is that many of us here don't base a person's character or voting record on the color of their skin.
Well, I wish
You
that
should be
were
judged by
true.
the character of you, not the color of your skin, sir.
I wish that were the case, sir. I really wish to the bottom of my heart that that was the case. But I will tell you this, that being race blind doesn't make you any less race conscious.
I think you're a great man, Representative Dutton, but I'll disagree with you on this.
Okay. Well, and perhaps we'll disagree, but I hope that this resolution, it says that you're gonna now penalize people for engaging in a constitutionally accepted activity.
I think that the House has the authority to adjust the rules as necessary.
They sure do. They sure do. I think could the House? Do you think they could make the rules so that black people couldn't serve here?
I don't think that the color of someone's skin is relevant to this rulemaking that we are doing currently.
Well, I just want to know how far you would take the House rule changes to. That the House could change the rules for this.
That would
They could change the
be
rules for
insane.
just about anything.
That would be completely asinine to make House rules about race.
That's what I think about these rule changes on the House Resolution 128.
But they don't have anything to do with race. They have to do with not showing up for the job you're paid to do that you swore an oath to the Constitution to show up for.
Well, why do you think they have quorum requirements, sir? Why is the quorum requirement even there?
Because we need people to show up to vote for the promise that we made to the citizens of
And
Texas.
so why do you think it's there? Is it there for a reason or is it not there for a reason?
I think that the rules are amendable as this House see fits.
Well, I think you're doing it now, and I think that because it's a majority, you're in the majority, you can do pretty much what you please. But I would just caution you.
I think we should do what's honorable, not as what we please.
Do you think this House Resolution 128 is honorable?
I think when people refuse to show up for a job that they're paid for, this is an honorable approach.
Well, do you think the quorum is part of your job? Do you think
that
the
rules
quorum
are
is
open
part of
to
the job?
Amending.
Sorry?
I think the rules are open to amending, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but you're saying that you're not answering my question. My question is this, is if the quorum requirements are in the Constitution, then they're there for a reason, correct? Would you agree with me?
It was agreed upon by the House that the rules are there for a reason, and also that we have the ability to change those rules if we see fit.
Right, but you're not changing the quorum rules. That's not what you're changing. What you're changing, you're trying to say that because a person or a group of people in this body elect to use the rules, that you're making that somehow or another subject to a punishment.
I think that when people don't show up to do their job, we have to recognize that there is an issue with the current rules we have, and we need to amend those rules as necessary so that people show up to do their job.
So you don't believe that we were engaging in the job while we were not here?
In Illinois, no.
Well, wherever we were.
Right. Outside the boundaries of the state of Texas, in a state that has some of the worst gerrymandering in the country. It seems very hypocrisy.
So you think the only place we could do a job was here in this body?
I think that's the job
wall, between these walls?
I think that's the job we promised our constituents to show up and do.
That's what?
That's the job we promised our constituents to show up and do.
No,
I don't know, maybe y'all didn't make that promise to your constituents, but I made promise to my constituents to show up. Now, look, I lost a vote earlier that I wanted to see go differently, right? But that doesn't mean I don't show up.
Well, but the problem with what you're saying is that you're not understanding is that the quorum requirements are there so that it will protect something. And what it protects is the interest of the people who decide that they will break the quorum simply because they do not like a provision that's taking place. And in fact, if they believe it's unconstitutional, they have an obligation not to be there.
I understand your reasoning, and I hope you understand mine.
Well, I do, but I want you to try to open somehow or another and begin to understand that there may be a difference of opinion, but that doesn't engender a punishment.
Nullification is not something that's new to me, sir.
Is what?
Nullification is not something that's new to me.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Okay, all right. Thanks you, Mr. Virdell.
Thanks, sir.
The chair recognizes Mr. Vasut to close.